Hello, folks. We're back, and I'm very, very happy today. Of late I've been introducing guests, and I love it when I start and I say my guest needs no introduction. This man, I hate the word humble. When they talk to everybody, tell me humble. Somehow I don't like the word humble. I'd rather say he is an unassuming man. Totally unassuming man. A man who's grounded in legal gymnastics. You must know who I'm talking about now. Show some love for my lawyer and my friend, Thaddeus Sory. Grounded man. Tawe humble.
Oh, please.
I know you always say that you don't like it.
You have made it difficult for me to know.
So that's why I use unassuming.
Let's see.
Well, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And thank you for the compliments and everything.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm humble or unassuming. I'm just who I am.
And you remain who you are, and we need you as you are, because we appreciate it. The thing that has been bothering me that I really, even my producer more than me, has been hounding you, were some legal issues that we needed some clarification. And at first I said, okay, let me talk to him so I can do the show. And I said, no. Even if I talk to him and he gives me a paw, mean to be delivered aside, it will come without gravitas.
I don't know about gravitas.
So, folks, he's here himself today. And let me start straight away, because there's a lot of legal wahala going on. This whole issue about whether lawyers should be on vacation, and is it right for the CJ to say that, whatever. Let's start from the vacation aspect.
Okay, so this is not the first time that lawyers, members of the general public and a lot of people are interested in lawyers' vacation. It's been there. People say it's a colonial relic and all of that. Colonial judges needed to go on vacation and everything. Whatever it is history, I can tell you that lawyers need that vacation. It's not just lawyers, but judges. And I always say that, look, this is not to minimize or to show disrespect to other workers. But we all wake up early in the morning and we go to work. Some people have what we call closing time. You get into some offices by 4:30, people are gone, and 5 people are gone.
9 to 5.
Yes.
8 to 4, whatever. Yeah.
The normal life of a judge and a lawyer is different. You have to wake up very early. You have to start preparing yourself to go to court. Amidst the traffic that everybody goes through and all of that, you have to be ready, however you do it, in the traffic and in whatever way, you have to get to court ready. So it means you don't have as much time as other people have. If they have to prepare their kids, you still have to do all of that. Say you take care of your family and all of that, you still have to do that. But the client expects you to get into the courtroom prepared. The judge is supposed to be prepared for you when you get into the courtroom. Right after court, which stops around 2 o'clock, even if you leave the courtroom early, you get into the office, you have so many clients waiting for you to speak to you. You have to speak to them because you need to get their side of the story. You have to reduce it into writing. You have to file it. And so by the time people are leaving their offices, you are still in the office. And you leave the office 9, 10, 11, 12. When I was young out, I didn't leave the office before 12. And so at a point in time during the year, you need that vacation. You need it to be able to serve not just your client, but to be able to be your best as an officer of the court to the court. That judge who leaves their chambers, if they leave it early at all, they have to be writing rulings for the following morning. They have to be studying dockets for the following morning. And so even if we agree that it was for the colonial judges, we still need that today. And
so it's not an issue that you can say it's no longer applicable.
It's very, very relevant. Very, very. And when people say this, they don't even understand that during the vacation, there's still a lot of work that lawyers do. There's a lot of written submissions that they are writing for their clients. You are writing several pages. You are reading several records that are very huge. You get into my office and you see records of 6, 7, 8 volumes. And I'm reading all of that in the vacation. So the only thing that is taken away, or the only thing that you get reprieve from during the vacation, is court attendance. And
but you're still working.
Yes. So you can ask me, so why didn't you take your vacation in January? But I'm appearing before different courts at every point in time during the legal year. So how am I going to, organize my legal vacation such that all these courts before whom I'm supposed to appear, they allow me that space? You can't harmonize that. You're appearing with another lawyer doing a case for his client. How do you harmonize that? So it is the best and most workable situation that we have right now, and that is working perfectly. During the legal vacation, it doesn't mean we don't do any work. We still even work writing the client submissions and all of that. So I think maybe lawyers don't tell their story well, but the legal vacation is very important for lawyers.
Yeah, because, I've heard people saying, so why can't we have a doctor's vacation and all hospitals are closed and we have teachers, whatever it is. I think you're bringing a new understanding to the whole thing. Even the vacation doesn't mean you're off.
At all.
You have to be working.
This morning, I sent my managing partner some work that I had to do and sent to her. I sent an affidavit to a client to look at this morning. I can show it to you on my phone. And I'm saying it's a Sunday morning. At least after first Mass, I should be thinking about what the preacher said and what the gospel said. But I did that this morning. I can show it to you on my phone now. So it doesn't mean we just go home and sleep. There's still a lot of work to be done. The only thing that is taken away from, that you get respite from, is daily court attendance. You don't have to do that, but we all still go to court once a while during the vacation. It happens.
So thanks for the explanation. So here we are. There's a pending case, and the attorneys are actually resisting that. This is our vacation, and so there's this now tiff between the lawyers and the Chief Justice or the Ghana Bar Association, saying that it is not right to assign any judge to any pending case because this is our time for vacation.
It's clarity we all need on this matter. I explained one point. When they say we are on legal vacation, it doesn't mean no work is done. So traditionally, every year during the legal vacation, the Chief Justice, as the head or the administrative head of the judiciary, appoints judges to sit during the vacation. They sit during the vacation, and by tradition, they are understood to be dealing generally with specific types of cases, like general applications, matters which are urgent. If somebody has been detained and you need a writ of habeas corpus and all, it doesn't have to abide. You need abide the legal vacation. Somebody wants an injunction. He's not going to wait until lawyers come back from their vacation, however tired they are. He's not going to wait. So you have those matters which can be dealt with by judges sitting during the vacation all over the country. So the Chief Justice has that power as the administrative head of the institution to appoint judges to sit. It also happens that during that period, there could be an understanding that, cases, some trials can be conducted. Trials are more heavy lifting matters that are supposed to wait until the legal year resumes. So generally understood that trials are not to be conducted. But if the Chief Justice says, a particular judge should sit, and the judge says, there is a part head matter before me and I want you to appear, the Chief Justice does not direct how the judge should deal with those cases before him. You should appear before the judge and make your case to the judge. That, look, I have been appearing before you throughout this period. I think I need some time off to be able to refresh and come back. The judge has power to adjourn it and the Chief Justice can't control it. And I'm saying that it is not even the first time that lawyers have appeared in what are supposed to be politically sensitive matters during the vacation. When this argument was going on, I saw people post proceedings involving me in certain matters in which the judge recorded, or what they put forward wasn't certified. We have certified 2 copies of it. But even if you look at what they put out, at the end of the proceedings, the judge said there was consent on the part of the parties for her to go for a warrant. So the suggestion was that, yes, we had all agreed that she should go for a warrant and sit during the vacation to continue with the trial. But you read the entire proceedings and you can ask yourself, even as a layman, that so at what point in time did this agreement take place? Then there are subsequent proceedings in which the judge doesn't refer to what is supposed to be an agreement based on which he's sitting during the vacation. And I went to court during that vacation. But on the 2nd of August, that is 2 days or so into the vacation, she gave me the whole vacation off. Because there was some understanding, even though not recorded, because you have to arrive at some agreement. So my point is that the Chief Justice can exercise his administrative power. The judicial power as to how to conduct the proceedings is with the judge. So initially, my view is not that as soon as a directive is made, as soon as a decision is taken, we start by reacting negatively towards it. Why don't we engage the system in the appropriate way? And when you are not able to reach a conclusion, our democracy allows us options to deal with those decisions. If I go to the courtroom and I try to make a case to the judge that, look, you can't be fair if you insist that I should continue to do this case during the vacation in this particular manner, and the judge refuses, I have options. I know what to do. If you are not happy with the Chief Justice's decision, you can actually go and meet up with the Chief Justice and say, look, as parties, we want to come and discuss this your directive. Does it mean we should continue trials? Or you mean if we have applications in the matter, we can go back to the judge? Let's get clarity on it before we all start saying there's a political motive, there's some interest in the matter, we want a particular result. Whether that is it or not, it appears premature to me. We will get to know that if you start engaging the process legitimately and you don't get the solutions that you want. Or you see, people begin to think that, no, some of these decisions are getting outrageous. I have been on my feet before until court officials had to come and tell the judge that, please, we want to close. I was on my feet for that long. And I knew at the end, there are people who can testify to that. Lawyer Educative, Randolph Chumesi, they were in the courtroom, and you could see that the judge wanted me to say, oh, I'm tired. So he said, okay, well, then you have finished your case. But I also knew. So you are experienced enough to be able to conduct the proceedings in such a way that people will begin to see that it is unfair how the judge is conducting himself or how an administrative official is conducting themselves. But if as soon as the decision is taken, you don't engage the decision in any way, and you are hearing news about how people are biased and press conferences are being organized, and that's not how to resolve it. And that's not a legal way of resolving issues. Decisions, of course, will always be taken. We all would never be happy with the decisions. But
there's a procedure,
yes, there's a process.
Way to...
Yeah.
I see. So why would people knowingly just simply stay away from the prescribed way to go? Or they don't know?
It's not that they do. We all know. And the law says that we are all presumed to know the law. And that's why people expected you to sit here and be able to speak the law. We are all presumed to know the law, but we are all different. And so there are certain cases people call political cases or cases of public interest, national interest, and all of that. You can tag them as you like. And you can emotionally connect with them as you like. You can emotionally react to them as you like. Is that the proper way to deal with it? You should ask yourself. That if you go on radio to speak about it, do you get a solution or you inflame passions?
Maybe the idea is to just inflame passions to get people to think the way they want them to think. So you incite passions, and then what does the law do about that?
And the directive is still waiting for you. Are you coming to court or not? Because, as I heard, the judge says, if you don't come to court, the case will continue. But you can go to court and tell the judge that, no, we can't do this because I have A, B, C, D constraints. So the judge is not a person of outrageous conscience. The judge should take that into account. I have done a case in which a client was sick, and the judge issued a bench warrant for his arrest because he didn't show up in court. said the man is sick. The judge still issued that order. And they took the order to the hospital, and the man was lying there. And I said, arrest the man, take him to court.
Wow.
And so you can always deal with these things with the facts. If you are transparent, you can confront it.
So the decision to just totally boycott it is what, premature, or
They can't. I'm not. Sometimes, I mean, with all due respect to my colleagues, some of whom are senior to me, they are my good friends. You can't say you are boycotting courts. In fact, it is unethical to say you are boycotting court. You are you are an officer of that court. So even though you have a duty to serve your client, your primary duty is to the court, because we all are assisting the court to serve justice. And so when you say you are boycotting, this is not a TUC type of situation, or sorry, excuse TUC people should spare me. I mean, or should understand that, for want of a better word, I had to resort to that. But an officer of the court, you owe the court a responsibility to appear before that court
and make your case.
And the court has powers of discipline over lawyers. That a court can say appear, and you say defiantly that I won't appear. You owe that court a duty to go to the court and explain to the court that, yes, this is my constraint. When we as officers of the court say we are not coming, what impression then are we giving to those who are not supposed to be learned in the law? That a court can say this and I'll say I won't do it.
It's amazing you said that, because that was going to be my next question, or I had planned in the line of questioning to ask you. So what is this, what signal is this sending to people like us? If a lawyer for any reason can say, well, this is my vacation, I won't be there.
You have actually said that you will not be present if they decide to sit on the case.
I can't be present.
So what will happen to your clients?
Well, they don't want the clients to have lawyers to defend them. Well, what is special about these cases? Why should we specialize these cases before specialized courts to achieve what end?
So if denied, what happens to your clients?
Well, they'll go and face the people who have arraigned them. But I will not go and lend support to what I believe is an
So
aberration.
you'll still not go?
I won't go, ma'am. I don't see how even the Chief Justice should contemplate part-head cases being heard in the vacation.
It's quite surprising that you have said that you will not go to court on that day. However, on the 19th, you are willing to go to court because you are seeking bail for Chairman Untumi.
Because it's a motion, ma'am. Let's make the distinction clear. Motions are permitted before what they call the vacation judges. And guess what? Now it's been virtual. You don't need to be physically present. So you shouldn't confuse a trial with a motion. And as for those motions, they have the vacation judges. Any judge could come and sit in during vacation and listen to a motion. And when the motion is not complicated, she's going to grant the motion or deny you the motion. This is not the first time. Lawyers are arresting, and I wouldn't want to feed what is wrong. So I won't go.
What signal is it sending to me?
I don't think it's a proper signal in any way. And I say this again with due deference to colleague lawyers and due deference to my seniors and everything. I say, first of all, that if you look at the Legal Profession Act, the act that regulates the profession, it says clearly that you are an officer of the courts. You owe a primary responsibility in everything that you do to show respect and honor to the court. So you should be the first to appear before the court to say, look, I have this constraint during the vacation. I am not able to do this case during the vacation. And the judge must listen to you and must make a reasoned evaluation of your position and then decide whether or not to grant you that dispensation. If the judge says, I won't grant it to you, you have options.
What are the options?
You can appeal. After all, the judge is going to write the ruling. You can challenge it. If you think the judge has acted in a way that you are not happy about, you can file some proceedings. You can challenge them in different ways. I don't want to sit down here and give people ideas, because we have all, on many occasions, had to confront these situations. They are not new. It is not the first time these things have happened. And I've said I've appeared before a judge during vacation, or not a judges during vacation. There are instances in which you can say, oh, the ruling is not right. We have gone to court before expecting particular decisions, but we didn't go on radio to challenge the decisions.
Yeah.
We challenged them in the courtroom and allowed those who wanted to talk on radio to talk on radio. Some spoke about cases that we did that they didn't even understand what it was about. And so, let's stop sensationalism. Professionals should remain professionals. Let those who say politics, what they call politics, and I don't think I agree with that notion of politics, that it means go out there, lie to the public, try and influence people negatively, and you call it politics. I don't agree. But
what do you call it?
I think that politics is service to people, and that's what you start telling us, that you want to serve us. So if you want to serve us, and you want to serve us positively, you must come at us with some level of candor and respect for our intelligence and everything. So you should speak to us believing genuinely in what you are saying. But when somebody who calls themselves a politician stands out there and then says, oh, these are the facts, and you know A, B, C, D, and 5 minutes thereafter, the real facts are coming out, and these are supposed to be responsible politicians. 5 minutes thereafter, facts are coming out that just make it clear that you had no reason whatsoever to be putting out or trying to influence people in the manner in which you did. I think there should be some code that sanctions such a person, whoever you are. That an honest mistake is an honest mistake. But when it's plainly fraudulent, you are really defrauding the public, that you know this is what happened, and then the facts are put before you and it is not true. That's irresponsible. You don't deserve to serve the public. And when you ask them, say, oh, that is politics. That is politics? I don't understand that.
Let me push it further a bit. I'm going to put it in the context of what we are all going through now.
Okay.
We have seen the issue of oral. We've seen some amount of prosecutions, not persecutions. We have seen it based on evidence that certain people have looted, as the name goes. Now, we are in that era now where people are hungry that we have been looted and people must pay for the loot. Considering the atmosphere now, the anger of the people, the eagerness of the people to see that actions are taken, can that be misconstrued as, well, this is the reason why things are done, is because of people's anger on let's say, arrest on oral and everything, and this is what people will put out there to have us believe, that all this is, to quote you, political. How do you answer?
So all of that, my candid views, that it's all part of the politics, because we put out information and say, this is what we found out, this is what we found out, and this is what we found out. But we don't add a caveat that these are our perceptions, or these are what we think. Even when the Auditor General says, I have audited somebody and these are my findings, we must add a caveat that the person has rights. And that means that the person can challenge and get people to understand that the auditor was wrong. And so, as for people's anger about corruption, we all are always angry about corruption because it affects us. But at the end of the day, we must always remember something, that just how we are incensed to believe that, oh, somebody is corrupt and that some figure has been put out there, that somebody has put that money under his bed and is spending it with his family and friends. We must also remember that an interrogation of those facts can yield a conclusion far different or completely different from what was initially put out there. And I'm saying I have defended a number of those matters. And you can always see that the public is misinformed, especially in relation to some of the banks that were liquidated on grounds that they were insolvent and all of those things. One of the cases that I did, the charges were 40-something. And I filed a submission of no case because you say about 10,000 customers were defrauded by the CEO of the bank. The prosecution manages to close its case without calling one customer. 10,000 customers, you don't call one.
Not one.
To say this CEO has defrauded the bank. In the course of the proceedings, the witnesses are asked, this CEO, did he break the vault to take the money? No. Did he follow procedure as to how the monies were disbursed? Yes. Did one CD go to the man's pocket, either in his bank account, or he benefited from it one way or the other? No. But the judge doesn't see that, no. There is a problem even with proceeding in that manner. You know, at the end of the day, the person has been acquitted by the Court of Appeal. But the public believed that all of those whose banks were liquidated were thieves.
Yeah.
And they stole money. And they literally took customers' monies and put in their pockets. So if we are now beginning to see that the courts are looking critically at these cases again and are saying that no, there is a problem, it will seem to offend the conscience of the person who was initially made to believe that these were thieves. And I'm saying Sedinam was given 70 some. In fact, the prosecution initially made a mistake. There were 78 charges. They said there were 80. It was a trial judge who found that they didn't even count their own charges well.
It was 78.
Yes.
And they said
it was 80. It was a trial judge who said no. I've even found out that they are not 80, they are 78. Your own charges, you couldn't count them. So you should see right from the beginning how when you speak out there about a case and when you get into a courtroom and we're now picking the pieces one after the other, so we get to the truth. People say, oh, it is delaying. You want to put somebody in jail and you are saying he has no right to say, okay, you say I have stolen 1 million. We have to go through 1, 2, 3 to find out how we got to the 1 million.
Yeah.
So they are now picking out some charge by charge, and they are realizing that no, we cannot speculate on people's rights. We have to do evidence. And I'm saying in this country, we take people's and we allow certain people to believe that there is no rule of law. Excuse me again, let me use this example. We have our finance minister who is taking advantage, and the supposed most advanced country in the rule of law and in democracy and who teaches us how we should respect people's rights is allowing him every opportunity to take a point that he wants to take for his benefit. Why is it that when it was in our country, Abu Trika and Co didn't get that right to be able to take point by point to the Supreme Court and have their rights declared before they were repatriated? But it reflects how we kind of are mob in the kind of in the way we approach certain things. Oh, he was displaying money about, and so we judge him by that. But how do we deal with him according to our own law? So people people would be sensitive about situations because that is how we put it out there. So as for oral will take time.
Yeah.
So let's understand that at the time oral was put out there to all of us,
the 36 cases that we have reviewed in detail, if we are successful in recoveries, we can retrieve as much as 20.49 billion United States dollars. 20.49 billion United States dollars. 36 cases, and that's from National Cathedral, PDS, MS, SML. You have the GMPC salt pond decommissioning. Then we've also done an estimate of the state capture, the lands. If we successfully ask people to pay conservative market value for the lands they have looted, again, the experts are telling us that we can recover about 702.8 million United States dollars for the Ghanaian people.
It was based on particular information. That is one step of it. The next step is, if you launch an attack against somebody, a judicial one against somebody, it's not going to be like the one that was said on radio, that it is oral. We are going to pick the pieces one after the other until we get to
evidence-based.
Yes, we must do that. And instead of doing it on radio, let's get to the courtroom and do it. Because that's where we are. So that's how I see it. So allow the people who want to do propaganda to do it. But as for a professional, a journalist reported right, a lawyer You have no business talking about it if you are. As for those who are not in the case, they can talk what they like because they are not even in the case. When I get into the courtroom crafting the case, you are allowed to sit there and watch, and you don't even know what I intend to achieve with what I'm doing. So you can go out there and make your commentary, but you are not in the saddle. So allow them to do it. But we, those conducting the cases, we should just focus on what we're doing. That's all.
So when you have a case like this where I hear the Ghana Bar Association, the whole Bar Association itself has put something out regarding their reaction to this whole vacation thing, what is your reaction to it? Because this is the Bar Association, and as we know, these are the...
Honestly speaking, I think on this your platform, I've spoken about the Ghana Bar Association. My reaction to it, I don't want to describe it here. You represent lawyers, and I'm saying it is not your first time. I was a victim of holiday trials. You can say I did not protest, but I belong to that association. If you are alive to your responsibility the way you are in certain matters, you should know that there are some lawyers who are working during the vacation, and you keep quiet. And I don't think that as lawyers, the best way was to have written a letter and said, "Oh, we are siding one way or the other."
Yeah.
Can you even go and you have what it takes as an association representing us as lawyers to walk to the Chief Justice to say, "We have seen this your circular. We want to come and engage you on it." And this is what was the circular about. What is it intended to achieve? Could we do it this way? The Chief Justice would benefit enormously. He will be very enriched by some of the suggestions you will make to him that will help the judicial system, the public, and the lawyers that you are representing. What is for me, reacting to it in that way didn't make any sense. And I've said before that as a member, I don't think they represent me. Because in every situation that I was in trouble, I never saw them. And if they continue to behave
so
like
who
that,
do they represent?
I mean, they represent some people. I have never felt represented by them. Because I said in many instances in which I was in trouble as their member, I didn't even get a solidarity call. No, even when I met them casually, did any of them say, "Oh, we've seen what you are going through, but don't you think we should do it one way?" Or nothing like that. But I'd rather see you on the other side fighting against me, your member. So when they issue a statement like that, I have no respect for it. I'm sorry. I have no respect for it. And I think they should have engaged the... look at part of the letter. We have seen letters of lawyers about this thing. It means you didn't even call the lawyers to understand. Look, so what are you really complaining about? We've seen your letter. Let us understand your concern. We want to go and meet the Chief Justice and speak with one voice on this issue, because it is not just you. It's going to happen to another lawyer. So maybe we can get some guidelines as to how this thing can be managed. So when I see, I'm honestly disappointed. But unfortunately, that's my profession and that's the association that I belong to. But they must also understand that I should be able to criticize.
I just want you to hazard a guess. What would prompt something as, if I should say, irresponsible as this? Pardon my word. What would prompt it? Because I expect and we respect the bar. You know, you don't mess with lawyers.
Yeah.
You don't mess with learned friends. What would prompt them to do something?
Well, let me credit them with an honest mistake. I don't usually want to read motives into it. That's why I'll use
maybe
myself.
it was an honest mistake.
Yes, let me take it that it was an honest mistake, but it was a grievous mistake. That an association like ours should not be seen to be reacting like people who take knee-jerk decisions and all of that. You belong to an institution. But if in the past, the bar has decided that, oh, we are not even going to appear before certain courts because this is our position. Clearly, senseless decision. Because the courts will sit anyway. If your clients go there, they will take decisions against your clients. You can sit at home. Does that make sense? But people are not, people reason. And if you show respect to them, if you write that type of letter, put out there in the media to the Chief Justice, if he doesn't put on a matured cap, his reaction to it will be negative.
Yeah.
That You are the Bar Association, but I am the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. So that is how he's going to react to it. So why didn't we? We are stakeholders in this justice, big stakeholders in this justice system. The judges who sit there are members, who were also members of the bar. The Chief Justice was a member of the bar. So go and see him and say, look, we've seen this. We've engaged the lawyers concerned. And throughout the proceedings, this is how they've cooperated with the judge. They just want this period off. Can they be allowed to take it? Or can we now come out with guidelines as to how to deal with it? And lawyers now know, judges know what they are expected to do during this period. Would it have solved the problem? Rather than now saying you want to fight, go ahead and fight. If that's the best way to do it. I've seen people are fighting it in different ways, but I don't think that that's the best way to do it.
Let me be specific and just throw out a couple of names that are actually engaged in this whole Wahala thing. Godfred Dami, the former Chief Justice, and Atta Akyea, who, so far as I've read, refused to appear in court on grounds that they are supposed to be on vacation. Now, when they do, or if they do, what does that say of lawyers' attitude to procedure, the law itself?
I think I answered that. I don't know if Atta Akyea says he is not defiantly not going to court. Okay. That will not.
The judge says in 6 days you should be in court, or Kwabena Dubois without legal representation will represent himself. Do you plan to go to court on August 17th?
I'm not going to court at all.
Do you plan to go to court on August 17th?
I'm not going to court at all.
Atta Akyea is my very good friend. As a young lawyer, those were some of the immediately senior group of lawyers who were very good to us. That would be a mistake. I have said that. He knows better than say he won't.
So there's no justification for the order for the accused person to be tried in the vacation.
As for the former Attorney General, he was a former leader of the bar. So a higher standard is expected of him. And I expect that in certain matters, he should be a little more sober. He is a professional. He can make mistakes. And so if people criticize his work, it is okay that they criticize your work. But you had a responsibility to deliver on your mandate. You have delivered on it. Those who are happy with it, we thank God. Those who are not happy, we still thank God, because that is how life is supposed to be. You can't, in every instance, you should learn from what people were not happy about, so that you can. Because there will be people who will be coming to you as a former Attorney General to advise them. And you should be telling people maybe now that I have actually seen where I went wrong, or where things were not right, because listening to other people, I think he will earn our respect if he begins to acknowledge that some people also have a point when they say, oh, you erred here and there. You cannot be a perfect person. Yeah. You would never be. Even if you were given 10 more chances to be Attorney General of this country, you will make several other mistakes. So always coming out in a self-righteous manner to try and justify and explain, it's completely unnecessary. It's not going to persuade anybody, any serious person. And so, as for saying they won't appear, if he's one, I haven't also heard that he said so. But he's a former leader of the bar. Yes, but it takes to say.
So you're saying that especially him being a former leader of the bar, would be quite outrageous for him in particular, if he has said that.
Yes, he says that will be very wrong. It will be very unethical, and it's condemnable. And I'll give you one example. My mentor that you've spoken about, Mr. Chachuchikata, and I were involved in a case. And the Supreme Court did a few things that were clearly wrong, gave a wrong signal to the public, and we could have done it on radio, and we could have shown why it was bad.
Why it was bad.
Yeah. But he called me and said, look, this is what is going on, but Thad, I think we should go and engage the Chief Justice on some of these matters. This was Chief Justice Eniyebu, and I'm mentioning names to let you know that this is not, it's concocted. I think we should go and see him and speak to him about it and understand why it's going on like that. Early morning, the following day, we went and stood in front of the Chief Justice's office and waited for him to come. when he arrived, they said, we're looking for him. And he called us immediately in. What is the problem? So Mr. Akyea took his time and explained that this is what has been happening. And it's not the right thing. He thanked the Chief Justice, thanked Mr. Akyea. He said, look, this type of engagements is what we want. Instead of having people go out there and just speak about us. And I've taken your suggestions on board. Thank you very much. He was very grateful to him. And I'm saying, if he happens to watch this program, he will remember it. If you have Mr. Akyea as your friend, ask him. Maybe behind the scenes, he will tell you what he advised that we should go and engage the Chief Justice about. It was a public matter in which there was a lot of political interest and all of that. He really advised that, can we go and do some shake-up? Can we fire some letter? We should also make some noise and get the parties whose interests and rights were affected by it to go on radio and make noise about how the Supreme Court was doing certain things that were not right and all of that. But when he called me and said, look, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? I said, say, you are the one that we look up to. What you are saying, I think I agree with it. So, following morning, we went to the Chief Justice's office, and we were happy with his reception. He didn't start anything. As soon as he was told that we were standing there and
he came to see you right away.
He said they should bring us in. So when we went, Mr. Akyea explained that this is it, and it is not good for the court to continue to do things like this. He thanked him, and they corrected that behavior. They corrected it.
So at this point, let me just say this as legal advice to, I don't know, there's this breed of spirit that's brooding over us, and everything is go straight to the media, talk on radio, and preempt whatever we're going to do by fabricating stuff to people who are listening on radio and TV. But you are saying here, and I'm glad you've mentioned it, and I'm glad you brought this out, that maybe the sensible thing is go right to the source and sit down and have a decent conversation.
That is it. And for me, at the end of the day, there's this famous phrase, to thine own self be true.
Yeah.
And some of the things that you hear people do, or the actions that they take, you realize, first of all, that it doesn't make sense. Because you don't even believe in what you are saying. Then, 5 minutes down the line, you are exposed as a liar. And you still have confidence to come and lie. It doesn't make sense to anybody. And so it's not, and I would encourage my fellow Ghanaians that when people do that and they are exposed, and you say because of politics you are still siding with that, I don't think you are normal. We are all breaking down. Let's set standards. Instead of our politicians setting standards for us, let's set standards for
the politicians.
Yeah, that we won't have this type of person as our leader. Communicate clearly, communicate honestly, communicate fairly. After all, you say you are working for us, so why do you have to lie? So if you ask me, lawyers, let's stick to what we do, and we resolve problems. Now there's alternative dispute resolution, and we lead our clients to go and negotiate. We lead our clients to go and mediate. And a matter is affecting us, and we are on radio. Why? We can also engage in that same way and find a solution. If we are not satisfied with it, let's do the right thing.
Would it be wise, for example, for the GBA to make a law, a regulation, or whatever, to say that from now on, radio, TV is our last resort? These are the steps that we need to take before, and if it is important to go to the radio. Would you think something like that would make sense?
The GBA cannot do it now because it's in our regulations. It is even an unethical matter for a lawyer.
Oh, is there already?
Yes, a lawyer who is I think it's Rule 38, 38, yeah, also of LI 2423, they rule that regulates the conduct of lawyers. That when you are conducting a matter in court, or if it is likely to come up in court, you do not go on air to tell people about the merits of your case and what you said and what. Leave that to commentators. Leave that to the quasi lawyers, those who go and they say they understand the law. Let them be talking. The law that you know, say it in the court.
We call them pocket lawyers in Ghana.
They should stay in the pocket. That's the problem. If they had stayed in the pocket, we wouldn't have problem.
There wouldn't be any issue.
It's because they've come out of their pockets. So if you say you are a lawyer, go to the courtroom and do your law. You don't do it already.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if a lawyer is speaking, give people the two sides. Let people understand what the process is. But to be judgmental, and that this lawyer is not a good one. Who is a lawyer to sit there and say another lawyer is no good?
Yeah.
A lot of them don't even know what emotional expert. He's not signed one before his life. A lot of the lawyers who talk plenty on radio, ask them what are really the cases, and some who say, oh, they were in this Supreme Court and they got this. When people were in the Supreme Court, where were you? I mean, and what did you really do in the Supreme Court? Recently, I heard somebody even went there to take a date or to withdraw an application. It became news, and then the person was so good in the Supreme Court. I said, you went to withdraw an application, and this has become news. It's such a big matter. So I think we have allowed the standards to fall.
Yeah.
The GBA itself has no moral right. It is the one whose letter is in the media. Which lawyer are you going to call and say the person has done something wrong? So it set bad standards and very low standards. And as a member, I think we need a revolution within us to be able to convince people
that's a very critical statement you made right there. That even as a member of the GPA, you think there should be some kind of revolution within you.
Yeah.
The association to set things right,
so that people would begin to respect us as they respected our seniors before.
Thank you.
Now when we speak, it was like any ordinary organization.
I've seen lawyers rubbish decisions publicly on air and things like that.
That judge has no respect for his own judicial oath. I don't think he read the law. That Circuit Court 9 judge, I have no respect for him. For a judge to say that he's remanding Abroye into BMI custody until the case is finally determined, such a judge can never have my respect. I pray that he summons me for contempt. I will continue to disrespect him until he upholds the law. He's gone beyond his judicial function, and it is not his first. It's as if he has been selected purposely to achieve this. He doesn't talk law. I don't know whether he ever passed his law exam. It's a shame. It's a shame on the judiciary. And my Lord Bafuboni must pay attention to this. For whatever it is, it's about his legacy. I'm told by December he will be 70 and he will be gone. Is that the legacy he wants to leave after Tokonu was booted out of office? And all manner of accusation leveled against Tokonu. Is that the judiciary? Yes. The judiciary, they said they were going to reset. Is that the reset?
And I'm thinking, what do these people think they are doing to the legal association itself?
That is very unfortunate, because you see, when we say judges, they are wise men and all of that, it is based on rules that we have crafted and said that when these people speak, however stupid you think it is, that is the wisdom of the time. So let's show respect to it. And as lawyers, we know how to deal with it through the process. But to come out and say, oh, it doesn't make sense, it's a political decision, the judge was influenced and all of that, I think we've lowered the standards. They must crack the whip against some of the lawyers who speak like that. You are allowed to say, we don't agree with the decision.
Yeah.
You know, there are principles of law we expected the court to apply, we didn't see them, and so we don't agree with the decision. But when you insinuate that there's a judicial interest in the outcome of the proceedings, it's a totally different thing altogether. It's an attack on our democracy. That you are saying that an institution that Ghanaians must respect should not be given that respect, or should not be taken seriously because it's actually working against Ghanaians. You shouldn't talk like that as a lawyer. No. Even if you lose the case. I've lost so many high-profile cases in court. You've never heard me. I will never go out there. And it hurts that you think you've given your best, and the judge takes a different view. First of all, these judges are lawyers like us. They were not the most extraordinary or anything, but we must show respect to them as our colleagues who have taken the responsibility to discharge a duty to the country. And so they will make mistakes, like every other person. they will take decisions that we don't agree with, but it will make them stupid men and corrupt men and all of that. That is so. It's not right to begin to say those things in public about those people.
Yeah. How do you feel when you hear a lawyer saying that to a judge, that this case was not handled well? And
it's a judicial system that is allowing such things to happen.
Okay.
He's allowed to say the decision we don't agree with. But when you say certain things, like say the judge is corrupt and all of that, the system can deal with. I said we are officers of the courts, and the courts have powers of discipline over us. You can criticize the court in the most trenchant language, but do not say that the court is motivated by ill motives. The judge is motivated by ill. When you begin to say things like that, no, be objective about what you are saying about the decision. It is wrong. It doesn't add up insofar as the principles are concerned. But to say that because he made that mistake, he did it deliberately because somebody influenced him financially or in another way to reach that decision, it's a totally different thing altogether. And I think we should show respect to the judges and to the judicial system. In the past, I've had big confrontations with judges, even in open court. But I will never go to the press and say that happened because the judge was corrupt. I should never say something like that. So in the courtroom, the banter will be a strong one. We will check one another. Because the judge owes me a duty, I owe the judge a duty. There's a duty of mutual respect. That if the judge doesn't give me, I'll demand it. Because that court is a court. You only preside over the court. You will leave that court, another judge will come. So don't when you hear a judge say my court, when you say it to my hearing, I say it's not your court. You will leave the court, and another judge will come.
Another judge will be there.
Yeah. So conduct yourself as a person who has been entrusted with a responsibility, sitting where you sit. You don't become something else just because you sit in a particular position. So let's show that respect to them too. So I don't like to hear things like that.
Would you want to be a judge?
Well, no.
No?
Not at all. I don't see it. Well, and maybe let me be modest a little, and let me apologize to God, because when you say you will do something, when you are so sure about something,
you never know when.
Even when Jonah ran away, he was brought back. So let me apologize to God that in my heart of hearts, it's not something
that
I
really
do. Well, maybe I don't think I have what it takes to be a judge. I'll be honest with you. The kind of
you don't have what it takes to be a judge.
I don't have what they are very. You have to be an extreme. I mean, somebody with good qualities. I'm not sure I can sit there for 1 hour. See what I see come from lawyers like myself. I'm not sure I can tolerate that.
When you explode, if you're angry and explode, what will you do?
I don't know what I'll do. So I don't want to get there.
So you don't want to get there?
Yeah, I don't want to get there. Let me.
How are judges appointed though? Let's say you've done great work as a lawyer, fascinating and everything, and so they want to make you a judge. Is that the way it happens? What happens from being a lawyer to being moved to judgehood?
Ideally, there used to be a collaboration between the bench, the bar, and the faculty. So you see a situation where career judges, there are some of us who finish school and they just decide that, look, we want to be judges. So they start from the lowest levels and they rise to the Supreme Court. So the system itself filters out some of the best in the judicial service who deserve a promotion upwards. Then you look at the lawyers too themselves, no, those of themselves who have distinguished themselves and they all respect, colleagues respect them, their peers respect them, they will recommend that these ones appoint them. Our brothers at the academic side of things, they would also see among themselves those who have distinguished themselves. So there used to be that collaboration that ensured that the creme de la creme were the people appointed. These days, that collaboration seems to have dwindled away. And you find even within the judicial service, you know of people who are struggling. Oh, we've been here for 20 years. I've been in the High Court for 20 years without a promotion. You should even be demoted. From what you have been showing, I think you should be demoted. But they will budge until by the time you realize a promotion and the person is sitting in the court of appeal and you go to so you have come up here too. I mean, you don't understand the basis for it, but they'll budge you and say they've been here for 20 years without a promotion. Like a civil servant saying, I've been here and I haven't gotten promotion. But you don't show why you deserve the promotion. What really do you have to show against those others who have been promoted? So you find them come from somewhere. It's supposed to be like that, but these days that's not how.
Okay, I'll put the issue of being a judge aside. How about that Attorney General? Today, my producer suffered that to bring you here, so let me ask as much as I can, because I don't know when else. How about Attorney General?
Let me make a joke of it. The Attorney General is available.
It's available.
It's available because he has to come out every now and then to speak to us about, you see, this is how we are working, and these are the issues and all. I don't owe you that. That's why you suffered to get me. So the convenience of having to say, I don't have to talk to anybody when I don't want to talk to anybody. I have lived it for too long. So that transition from the private life to a public life, I will struggle. I will struggle, and I kind of sympathize a lot with those who have occupied that position, that they have to meet everybody. And Ghanaians are very funny. Something they can tell you on phone, they say, I want to come and see you. And this Attorney General is sitting down with a lot of things to do. And everybody wants to go and see them. At what point in time does he prepare? So when you are blaming them that, look, their work too, there's a problem, it's not easy. So another place where I'm not too sure I can function. Because if I get it, they'll sack me the following day. They'll say, oh, that's the Attorney General. They'll tell the president that is Attorney General. It's not accessible to anybody. Because he doesn't think he's there to be talking to people as and when they please.
When they please. So, okay. Wow, so we shouldn't expect to see or hear that anytime soon, eh?
It's not a cap that I'm willing to embrace now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think
not now.
Not even now. I'm not too sure. Well, and that's why I say, you know, we all have what we want to do. Sometimes something can twist, and that's why I had to apologize to God instantly. That I wish that I am not taught a lesson like Jonah. When you say, oh, this man, he defied God. He said he won't do it. In fact, to put it out of God's control, what he thought he was doing, he was traveling to another place. And he suddenly reappeared where he left. So you don't challenge God. So that is it. But otherwise, I've been too comfortable where I am.
Yeah. This question, I'm going to end on this question. Because it's something not directly related to what we're talking about, but about the judiciary, about the rule of law, about everything. Because I remember when, way back then, you were probably a little boy, when I was in sixth form, studying what they call government. It must have been
I met government too.
Oh, you did, yeah. And I remember the government teacher telling us that the Constitution is supposed to be supreme.
Yes.
And yet the Constitution is subject to the interpretation of the judges. So who is more supreme? Is it the Constitution or the judges?
The Constitution is still supreme because the judge himself, he owes his office to the Constitution, 1. 2, he cannot interpret the Constitution contrary to the Constitution. That is why when you take the Constitution, it's well organized. You start with a preamble to the Constitution. It tells you a little bit about the history of the people. It tells you about what they experience and what they intend to achieve by giving to themselves that Constitution. So they now try to bullet by bullet state what those ideals are. But we all know that in a human institution, having a thought and choosing the words that express that thought are two different operations. So you can have a thought, we can have aspirations, we can have philosophical leanings and all of that, and we want to achieve those things. But we choose words that may not directly express that. So we need somebody who will say, oh, when there's a disagreement as to what it says and all of that, no, looking at it, this is what it actually means. So you are giving effect to what the Constitution itself says. You cannot give an interpretation contrary to what the Constitution says. Like, it says, Parliament cannot make a law that makes Ghana a one-party state. And the Supreme Court says, oh, this is not the law. You can actually make it a one-party state. The what is Alan's party's name?
United Party.
United Party should be the only party in this country. If Parliament passes that law, and then somebody takes it to the Supreme Court to say, oh, it's unconstitutional, it violates a clear constitutional provision, the Supreme Court says, oh, that is it. It won't be a Supreme Court the following morning at all. So the Constitution remains supreme, and the judges have always said that all of us are subject to the Constitution, and none of us can do anything contrary to the Constitution. So that is not a difficult question.
Okay. You have no idea how that has bothered me since its form. Who's supreme? The judges who interpret the Constitution or the Constitution? But you have answered my question brilliantly. And on that note, we're going to wrap up. But I think the main thing I brought you here today was to help clarify all this wahala over this legal or no legal and whether we appear or not appear. I am satisfied that I fully understand, and the audience and the viewers there too, I'm sure you now totally understand. So Tad, once again, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Thaddeus Sory. I say he's an unassuming and yet a grounded legal luminary. So until we get him back, I don't know now anymore, because we suffer before we get him more. But the producer is there to keep harassing him. Until we see you again, Todd, thank you very much, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. See you next time on Unfiltered.